Everyone is teaching you how to sell digital products online, but very few people are teaching you how to actually build an online business. So in this video, I'm going to share behind the scenes things that you need to have in place if you want to build an online sustainable business selling digital products. Starting with this very first thing that most people get blindsided by, which is having a customer service plan. Now, it is going to be inevitable if you're selling digital products or anything for that matter, that you're going to encounter customer service issues. Maybe if someone didn't put the right email address in, or they didn't get the link, or they can't download the file, whatever the issue is, you are going to have a plan for dealing with it. And when you're in the heat of some of these things, you may be frustrated. And the last thing that you want to do is respond with frustration. That's how you're going to have a bad customer experience. You're going to lose customers and you get bad reviews ultimately. So to avoid that, you actually want to have something in place to deal with common customer service issues so that when you respond or someone from your team responds, you're responding out of logic and not responding out of emotion. And this is where having customer service email templates is going to be very important. Now, if you are a solopreneur where you're doing this by yourself, it is even more imperative that you have these templates on hand so that you can copy and paste and just quickly resolve issues without it taking a lot of time or frustration. Now, I actually had to deal with this today where someone said they could not access the file. I honestly think they deleted the email, but that's neither here nor there. However, because I had a template in place, I was able to quickly send an email to resolve the issue so that they could have a great experience as a customer. Now, you don't need anything complicated or fancy. You simply can go into Claude and say, hey, draft me up an email response in situations like XYZ. If someone says they can't find the email, if someone says that they can't download the link or access the file, you can have Claude draft up a very simple, straightforward email in your tone and voice that will allow you to just use it as a template anytime you need to use it as a response. So in this scenario and other scenarios like it, I would simply copy the email from my template, paste it, and email it and send them on their way. And I usually get a positive response from it. So here is an example of my customer SOP. After I had sent a certain email so many times, I just had Claude take the email, turn it into a template, and create an SOP. So these are my SOPs. And basically, if someone has a product delivery issue where there is no record of the file being accessed, because I can see when people access the files and open the emails despite what they say, I'm able to just come in, copy and paste this email template, and then I can send that out with the information that they need. Or if someone has, say they've accessed it already and I can see that they've accessed it, I can then go in and copy and paste the email here. And if I were to delegate this to a VA or someone else on my team, they would know exactly how to go about responding to these customer issues. Now, another thing I also like to do is track any customer service issues or support tickets that I receive. So if I get an email or someone on my team gets an email saying, hey, I didn't get the link or I couldn't access the file, we keep track of these in our dashboard just so we know, like, hey, this was the customer issue. This is the type of issue that it was. This is the status. If it needs to be escalated to me, it can be escalated to me. So as you can see, it's different statuses, if it's still open, in progress, so on and so forth, the time that it was responded to, what the resolution was, who resolved the issue, how long it took as far as hours to respond to the issues. The goal is to respond in less than 24 hours to know that we are in line with our, standards and KPI when it comes to having a good customer experience. And then any notes concerning the issue here, just keeping track of everything in one place, knowing that it's been resolved and taken care of. So these are good tools to have if you are growing an actual business and not just selling digital products online. Now, knowing how you're going to respond to customers after they made a purchase is absolutely necessary. But before they even make a purchase, you need to have policies in place. So the very next thing that you need to have in place are going to be the terms and conditions and policies for your digital product. So this is going to include things like your refund policy. It's going to be the terms and conditions of the digital product, including the intellectual property ownership and what they have the right and ability to do versus what they don't, such as copying or reselling. All of this needs to be laid out and plain before someone even makes a purchase so that you can protect yourself legally and put boundaries in place for the uses of your digital products. Now, I've already done a complete video on all the legal things that you need to have in place for your digital product business. I will link to that video at the end of this one so that you can check it out. But if you want to go ahead and check out all all the policies that I include in my business, just check the description for all of those links. Now, once you have all of your procedures and templates and policies and all those things in place, the next very important thing that most people miss is actually having a sales tracker. And this is going to be important because it allows you to see exactly where your sales are coming from in your business so that you know what you need to do more of in order to make more sales. I find that most people spend most of their attention and their time on just marketing and trying to sell without having an actual strategy behind it. So they do a lot of work, maybe creating a whole bunch of content on social media, not realizing it's not the thing that's actually driving their sales. But if you are tracking your sales data and you know exactly where your sales are coming from, you can focus and streamline your work. So you're working on things that are actually making the sales and making more impact and growth in your business versus things that are a complete waste of time. Now, the simplest way to be able to track where your sales are coming from is to use tracking links. Now, it depends on what software you use. You may be able to do this natively. For instance, the old CRM that I use, Kartra, allows you to create tracking links. So you'll be able to see exactly how many people click on the link, how many people opt in, or how many people buy. So you can see associated with that specific link that you place in this specific place, whether that's the link in bio or your description, you'll know exactly where your sales are coming from. Now, if you don't have the ability to use tracking links, you can use something called UTM parameters. And these are just descriptions that you put at the end of a link that allows you to track exactly where traffic is coming from. So here's an example of my KPI dashboard where I actually track where my sales are coming from. So I track all of my sales, and from there I can actually see exactly the source of the traffic. So at the end of the link to the particular product checkout page, I can add the UTM source and the medium and then additional information about where this link is being placed so that when they make the purchase and I pull the data, I can actually tell exactly where it came from. So not surprisingly, you can see the vast majority of my sales come from YouTube. And then from within that, I can even see which particular video it comes from. So each of my videos have a name assigned to them essentially. And so I'm able to see that it came from my video where I say use these prompts. So a lot of my sales are coming from there. And then also I can see that people are using my QR code. So if you're watching my YouTube videos on a television screen, you can scan the QR code with your phone and be able to make purchases there. So I can see from the data that some of my people are watching me on TV and they're purchasing from the TV, which is pretty cool. And then I can also see, what specific product is selling based on my campaign. But knowing this information allows me to, one, double down on YouTube and then also create more videos. But then I'm able to see what specific video gets the most sales so that if I want to make more sales, I would create more videos around that particular topic. So this is why it's important to actually track your data so that you know what to double down on and create more of so that you can ultimately make more sales. So if you want to actually grow a sustainable online business selling digital products, these are the things that you want to have in place. You want to make sure that you have the customer service plan in place with the email templates and SOPs or standard operating procedures. You want to make sure you have your legal templates in place and knowing what the boundaries are for your digital products so that the customers are aware. And then more importantly, you want to make sure you're tracking your sales and knowing where your sales are coming from so that you can do more of what's working. This is how you grow and scale a sustainable digital product business and not just sell digital products online. Now, I mentioned making sure you have legal policies and procedures in place. So check out this video where I break that down.